Hey everyone, I've just clipped out a section of the big stream that we did, and this is all around the case and the Conjuring House case and the trial and everything, all the legal stuff. So enjoy. Hey everyone, this is a re-upload because I got a really suspicious email that I do not believe is real, but it's saying something about a copyright issue in Milton, GA, and this video is about Rhode Island. So the only thing I could think of is like, I don't know, I showed a headshot of one of the lawyers, so I have blanked that out and I'm just going to re-upload it. And if you want to see in general, this is the email here. I'm going to blank out the link that they provide there, but essentially the link is just like a Google share link, which this seems like really shady. And if there was some legal issue, why is Webmaster emailing me? Why not like the legal team? Also, I checked the website for Milton GA and they don't have anyone named Cole Bennett working there either. I don't believe that this email is real. So I did send an email off to the city's general email box, the info at, and I said, I'm not clicking random links sent to me. If this person actually works for you, they can send me proper details of their complaint. Since my video is about Rhode Island news, I don't see what their issue is about. If they wish to remove something from the video, they can provide me proper timestamps, which they didn't. And if there was like a sort of cease and desist letter and whatnot, they're supposed to actually put that in there. They're supposed to put proper timestamps. So, you know, because I don't know what content they're talking about. So I just blanked out the lawyer like headshot and the logo of the law firm that he works for. That's pretty much the only thing I could think of. But if anything else comes up, again, I will also blank it out. I might have to re-upload it completely too, because I don't trust that this is there's probably something to do with the circus. And that's why I'm not going to click this, because I used to work in information security. This looks like a phishing email. Like it looks like it actually might have a tracker in it, and I just don't trust it. So I'm not clicking nothing, but I'll just keep re-uploading this video with changes if I get response for changes, because the Streisand effect, we're going to keep talking about you if you don't leave us alone. I've moved on to other content. We've all moved on. We're moved on with our lives. Why are you starting to back up again? Also, this isn't Frankie, by the way. This video has to do with Elton and Matt and the lawyers, and I called out the lawyers for something suspicious there, and I think that's what they're scared of. They don't like that I actually pointed out a major problem. Anyway, it's in this video. Yeah, so you can watch it again if you haven't watched it. It'll be new if you have watched it. You can watch it again if you want. Everything in this video is my opinion as I review facts, and my opinion is based on the facts and evidence at hand that I have. This is a video where we are discussing ideas of what's going on, the legal side of it, and pointing out some suspicious documentation and things of that nature. Also, please do not send hate to any channels. Thank you very much for always being classy about that, guys. But go and watch the other people's videos about this house. It's the same rhetoric. Jason's broke. Jason just wants to make money on this. Elton wants to actually give it to the paranormal, that he's going to auction it off for $4 million. Oh, that $4 million that Josh tried to offer. Just saying, there's some collusion there. Okay. The other rhetoric that they spread as well is, the house is worth more than 1.3 million, which is what Jason's offering. It's not, because when the house was originally bought, I don't have all the numbers. I'm going to approximate based on what I recall. I know the numbers are wrong. So before Jacqueline, those people, they were good. They did a really good job with the house. They bought the house for like, it was something like 500,000 or 600,000. They turned it in. It was a residential home when they bought it. They turned it into a business. And honestly, it's not just the movies, it's the work that they did that made that house so popular. They had 24-hour like cameras running, people could log in, look at the website. Like, they created an attraction, right? They did a good job with it. So when they sold it to Jacqueline, yes, it was like 1.5 million or so. I can't remember. Somewhere close to what she's buying it, what it's going to be bought out for, right? So she bought it as a business, and that's why, you know, it's gone up in price. Now, all these people are moving this rhetoric around trying to say that the house should be worth like 2.5 million or 3 million, based on, you know, the appreciation value. That's if it was a business. It lost its business license a while ago. It is now back to being a residential home. So being a residential home, 1.3 million is actually like above the going rate for a residential home in that area that needs that much work. It's bad now. It's been left too long. It's worth less than 1.3 million, to be completely fair. Okay. So that's the rhetoric they like to spread, is that Jason is ripping her off. But if Jason's ripping her off, Elton's not offering her more money. Elton can legally only take what's owed to him because he is now the bank. So how is Jacqueline's sister getting more money for the house? Oh yeah, the auction where Josh has $4 million to spend on this house. And now the sister comes out of the woodwork out of nowhere. Come on, okay? All right. There's a lot of shady stuff going on. I do recommend also that you follow Ms. Paranormal on Facebook. And just recently she posted, there is a neighbor to the property. The neighbor says that Elton is dealing from the bottom of the deck and desperate. I personally watched him illegally go on the property and put up cameras. Elton does not own this property. Elton owns the deck. It is illegal for him to go on the property and do any work on it. He tried to file I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to say the word injunction, but it's not injunction. No, Jason did an injunction. He filed something where he could take control of the property to fix it up and make sure that it's in good working order while he's waiting for the court cases to finish. Then Jason filed an injunction, which is like a stop measure, because Jason's like, well, if he takes control of it and starts fixing the property, he's going to then try to use that as a way to, try to get more money and like try to get a hold of the property, right? Just like, I know what, like that, this is what he suspects. Like I'm thinking what Jason suspects. He didn't tell me this. I'm just like thinking, yeah, like obviously Elton's going to try something with that. So, anyway, Jason filed like an injunction thing. The judge said no to Elton. It's like, nope, there's too much shit going on. You're not touching that property. So the judge said, no, you're not allowed to go there. What did Elton do? He went onto the property illegally and installed cameras, right? Okay. So there's that. And like the reason that we're talking about Elton and Conjuring and all this, we have Angelina doing streams and talking about the house, the lawsuit, bitching about Jason, complaining about Jason, and spreading the same rhetoric about Jason's broke. The house needs too much work. Jason's not offering what the going rate is. Jason doesn't want it for the paranormal, which is literally what he wants. Like he's trying to create a community like project, right? And it's all the same rhetoric everyone's spreading. I've just noticed when I've been watching people's content talking about it, they're all repeating the same thing. They're all repeating this same like talking points. And that is very curious, So, that was a weird thing for Angelina to say. Yeah, almost like she knows what Elton's up to and she fucked up and said it, Yeah. Okay. And then as a reminder, Elton is working with Josh in October of 2025. He announced it. All right. Now we're going to take a look at this article, which, I did close the notepad. I think I have this on the notepad. Here it is. All right. Like we called that this was kind of happening. We saw that this was happening, right? Yeah, I mean, Jason has said this before. He had the opportunity to buy it from Jen and Corey, but he didn't. He didn't want to take it on. Like, he doesn't want to take on a project. He has his own stuff going on. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need the money from it. But he'll take it on as a community project if the community gets involved. And that's why he did the GoFundMe. And I know they're all like, trying to say he's broke because he did the GoFundMe. The reason he did the GoFundMe was to get the community involved because he really doesn't want to micromanage his property. He wants the community to be involved to manage the property, to deal with the property, So, okay. So this article here, attorney argues Caste Rife conspired with the plaintiff, Jacqueline's sister, in a lawsuit over the Conjuring house. Case that includes sordid ingredients made for TV movie, from ghosts and celebrities to deadly odd behavior and intervention from distant estranged relatives. Her sister is estranged. They do not get along. Her sister and her mother, I believe, she has cut them out of her life many years ago. She does not like her sister. Her sister does not take care of her. They do not get along. All right. So all this is playing out. So the suit was filed in December, and the older sister of Jacqueline seeks to block the sale to Jason. So here we go, explaining the background. Okay. So She purchased the old farmhouse, $1.5 million in 2022, was denied a business license to operate the location last November following legal and other troubles in town. The house sat vacant since then and was headed to foreclosure this fall before Summit and Stone, an LLC started by Elton Castay, purchased the underlying mortgage. He purchased the mortgage this day, October 8th or 7th or whatever, and was like, well, we were planning to do this, but I guess there's no auction now. Tee-hee. So, like, he's lying to you right away. All right. He's a liar. Okay. So last month it was revealed that Nunez once offered tours and overnight stays at the house. Okay. Her business name is Balefire LLC. She entered into an agreement in October to sell the property to Jason. All right. Then the sister filed for, a restraining order to halt the sale, stating that Jacqueline is legally incompetent, not of sound mind when she signed the agreement. Since the initial filing last month, attorneys representing both sides have filed additional motions, and they lay it out. All right, so here's what Hawes' attorney is laying out here. They're saying that which really sparked this dispute is so-called, I think this is it, hold on, file objection. This is a quote, so hold on, let me, okay. I'm quoting this. I'm not sure who said it. Let's double check after. That which really sparked this dispute is a so-called interested party known as Summit Stone LLC. The objection notes. I think this is Jason. Although the plaintiff oddly has recently come out of the proverbial woodwork to suddenly become involved in this matter, commencing this lawsuit. Now that $4 million is involved. The dispute concerning the purchase and sale of the property to Hawes actually first arose when Elton Castay and Matt Rife, after purchasing the Ed Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum, which they announced publicly in April 2025, then apparently desperately wanted to purchase the Conjuring house. All right? Okay. So Hawes' filing states that Castay formed the LLC in September for the specific purpose of buying the Conjuring house. Apparently, after discovering that the property's owner, Balefire, had been in foreclosure and had executed the purchase and sales agreement with Hawes, Castay, Rife, and the business entity under which they are acting, Summit and Stone LLC, decided to try to obtain the property in another way. According to Hawes, a few days after he executed the purchase sales agreement, Castay offered him $150,000 for proof of who the current lender was, which was rejected. So, like, this is weird. I don't know why he did that. Maybe Jason can glean that. It's like dumb. Another Rhode Island YouTuber named Joshua, Exploring with Josh, who also has ties to Rife and Castay, including from having appeared as guests in the podcast. They've done a bunch of stuff together. All right. And he notified a friend that he was going to Jacqueline's house to offer $4 million to cancel her purchase and sales agreement with Hawes, as well. Then it goes on to say, this is the actual backdrop of the instant lawsuit, albeit that the case was strangely brought by Nunez's long-lost sister, the plaintiff, while simultaneously attempting to name the clear actors behind it, Summit and Stone, merely as an interested party. Accordingly, the very parties that plaintiff has named as merely interested parties, in this case Nunez, Balefire LLC, Summit Stone LLC, seemingly are true actors behind this entire dispute and are indeed true and proper parties to this action. Plaintiff's claims of mental capacity are merely an attempt to take the property out from under Hawes, and plaintiff is clearly conspiring with Summit and Stone. So it goes on to explain, like, this is their plan. Okay, you can read the rest of this. It goes on to explain their back and forth, blah 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 blah. So this was written a little while ago. A lot of stuff has happened since then. Like, a lot of stuff. I know it's very confusing. And Jason will be explaining a lot of it. I was gonna try to go into the details of all the legal crap, but Jason's gonna be doing it real soon. So I'm not gonna stress too much about it. But something to keep in mind. Okay, so we have here plaintiff, Summit and Stone, defendant, Balefire. This one, Summit and Stone, Elton's business was trying to force Balefire into insolvency and bankruptcy, like trying to force the company to go into bankruptcy so that then they could, because technically the Conjuring house is actually owned by Balefire and not Jacqueline herself, right? But Balefire is Jacqueline's company. So they're trying to, like, dissolve the company so that they can then go at Jacqueline. I think that the idea is they dissolve. I think the idea is that I literally have no idea what the hell to spell. Making sure my mom didn't fall. Okay, we've been going a while and I'm tired and I know. So I'm going to quickly, because Jason is going to provide more detail. But I think the idea of this was that they want to dissolve Jacqueline's company, and then essentially then the house would be owned by like an individual. And if Jacqueline's sister has control of her through, what's it called? It happened to Britney Spears. I'm forgetting the word. She wants to like control her whole life kind of thing, but legally. So I think if she has control over Jacqueline and then this balefire gets dissolved, like it's easier for her to get control of the house kind of deal. I think that's sort of the idea, right? All right. So, not power of attorney. It's the, I'm just forgetting the word right now. No, it's when a person takes full control of your life. Conservatorship. Yeah. Which a conservatorship is very difficult to actually get and to prove, considering that Jacqueline has been living her life just fine before her sister came out of the proverbial woodwork, and Jacqueline's not dying. Like, she's just not paying the bills on the Conjuring house. Jacqueline has other rental properties and other things going on. Yes, she's loopy. Everyone can agree she's loopy. And like, if you look at the court filings too, they use this email that apparently Jacqueline wrote, that's loopy, like Jacqueline's loopy, crazy kind of writing. And the email goes on to say that the power of attorney isn't valid. But then she posted on Facebook saying that she's selling the house to Jason, and it was written in her loopy way. So if you're going to try to say the email is real proof, then you're going to have to say the Facebook post is real proof. Otherwise, though, you knock them both out because they're written loopy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Receivership is for the company. They want to dissolve the company is the idea. And then we have as well, there's this, I don't know that this is attached to the same thing because I have files all over the damn place. I'm not going to go in all the legalese. Okay, so here's her loopy thing. All right, Jason Hawes, paranormal community, you want the Conjuring house? Is that also what this is? Take it. I cannot go back anyways without constant threats of being kidnapped. Just know you will never again get paranormal activity and will have to fake it all. Foreign nations and countries, any action planned, and then she does this. It's loopy. There is more case filings and stuff. I don't think I have them all. You can order them. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of cases going on. It's not just the lawsuit for the house. There's the trying to dissolve the company. That's a separate case. Then what's this one? Plaintiff Needham Bank. So the bank, there's some paperwork snafu that happened that's kind of a mess, and that can cause some problems. It was explained to me. I don't know how to explain it in this moment at this time of the night, and I've been going for too long. Okay, then we have the business insolvency, petition filed, temporary receivership. Yeah, okay. We have some more stuff as a play, Bellfire. Yeah, I think these are all the insolvency ones. Like I said, there's like a bunch of stuff. Okay, and then what was supposed to happen the other day in court is that Jacqueline's sister was supposed to show up to court to testify, and then the sister dropped the what do you call it? She dropped the complaint, like the case filing, whatever, so that she didn't have to show up to court to testify. So a little bit fishy. Okay, and I gotta show you guys something too, because this is the big thing I want to show you guys. This is the big thing that I think is also important to look at. All right. Okay. You see the lawyer name, right? James Morietti, and that represents Summit and Stone. Okay. This is James Morietti on LinkedIn, working at Resnick and Caffrey. Jacqueline's sister's lawyer, his name is Michael Resnick. There's Michael Resnick, partner at KSP, like I showed you on the thing there. KSPR. Yeah, KSPR. Michael Resnick. Paralegal at Resnick and Caffrey. So, do you guys understand? Resnick and Caffrey. So who's paying for Jacqueline's sister's lawyer? And the law says that the bank isn't supposed to get involved in the sale of this house. The bank, the lender, is not supposed to be dipping their hands in that. Otherwise, banks would be screwing over people all the time and trying to steal the properties, right? So, that's shady. And then we have Jason's live. He does a better update with all this stuff than what I did looking at these documents. The documents are not important. What I want to show you guys was the lawyers. the lawyer is clearly someone who works with Elton's lawyers. Like it's very clear. So let me show you some highlights from Jason's live, and he goes into detail on this.
Can I bring up another sore topic though?
Sure. What's up?
So, and you're going to have to do some explaining for me too, because I haven't followed it very closely.
Oh, first they're going to open up discussing what's going on with us being like false flagged and stuff. So I did this update first, and then they're going to get into the legal case stuff. All right.
But I know that there's been a lot of controversy with some stuff, some people being outed that shouldn't be outed.
Oh, you're talking the doxing?
Yes.
Sharing people's information?
Yes. Yeah. And and again, I'll let you say what you want to say about it, because I don't know where the lines are that shouldn't be crossed. But there's some channels on YouTube that are doing some nefarious things and doing some things that we would view as being inappropriate.
Inappropriate and unexcusable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, literally trying to blackmail people with putting their information out there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what's going on.
And then making threats to other individuals.
I don't get it.
Well, and some of these same people, posted videos and made comments and stuff about my family and stuff. And, let's just get it out there. First, I had 22 something years ago. Life was different. Family was different and everything. And I'm not going to even justify, what the things they said. You want to talk about horrible individuals attacking my children? I mean, come on, attacking my children.
Is it just for clicks? Is that what they're doing?
That's why. I mean, it's just trying to bait people.
Yeah.
They're miserable individuals. I believe the Side-Eye guy is doing a video right now with somebody who used to be in business with one of those individuals.
Really?
Yeah. So I saw he was live, and I sent him a message. I'm like, damn it, man! If I'd known you were live, I wouldn't have gone live right now. So
circling back to what we were talking about with this stuff going on in YouTube and stuff. We talk about this when we talk about investigators that fake stuff and do all the screaming and all that stuff. The best way to handle this as a community is to ignore them. Don't click on their stuff. Just don't click on it. Don't support it. And they'll ultimately stop doing it, because if they can't get the clicks, then they have no reason to do it.
So, Crystal, let me just get back to your question. What's up with the Conjuring house? That's what we were just talking about.
Okay, now that he's going to cover the Conjuring, he's going to give a good summary, better than I could explain. He explained it really well here, so that's why I'm like, okay, I'll just clip it, and then he'll explain it here. All right. Yeah, Elton, very shady. Okay. And as well, the full documents, like Michael Castro did get them. I watched his whole video that he did, like reviewing them all, and I took a look at stuff as well, that I found, and like the case is very interesting. I will say, like, if you watch Michael Castro's video, he spends a bit more time on Jacqueline's sister stuff, goes a little bit more like attention to it. And then he does explain like Jason's argument that he presents. And he does a lot of things like, oh, well, I hope he can prove it. Oh, well, like, and he kind of glosses over some. This is why I'm like, you got to watch his video and get a feel for, how he's presenting it in a sort of trying to be neutral, but like I can tell he's leaning away from Jason, like he's, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna look at the whole video because it's like an hour or something, and I didn't want to cover it tonight because we had so much other stuff to cover. All right, so he's gonna explain the Conjuring house, and this is like 10 minutes, and he explains a lot, and he gives us a little sneak peek at some stuff that's coming. All right.
Yeah. So I saw he was live, and I sent him a message. I'm like, damn it, man! If I'd known you were live, I wouldn't have gone live right now. So
circling back to what we were talking about with this stuff going on in YouTube and stuff. We talk about this when we talk about investigators that fake stuff and do all the screaming and all that stuff. The best way to handle this as a community is to ignore them. Don't click on their stuff. Just don't click on it. Don't support it. And they'll ultimately stop doing it, because if they can't get the clicks, then they have no reason to do it.
So, Crystal, let me just get back to your question. What's up with the Conjuring house? That's what we were just talking about. We were supposed to close on the Conjuring house on December 5th, and miraculously, we never got the payoff from the note holder, which is known as Summit and Stone. Everybody can do their research from there. But what we did get was that very same night information that this miraculous lawsuit just came out of nowhere from an estranged sister out in Utah. So how she found out about it? Well, I can tell you how she found out about it, but that would follow the email chain that when we were asking for the payoff, and Needham Bank sent us and the attorney who covers that LLC information and letting them know that we were looking for a payoff. The LLC then at that point found out that we were looking for a payoff. So that's how that information got out. So right now we are in court. We're dealing with situations as they come and going from there. But either way, I think no matter what happens with the house, there's going to be some other things that are going to be happening. Me and my ChatGPT attorneys.
You and your ChatGPT attorneys.
Yeah, like they're trying to spread this weird stuff, like Jason like is broke and he doesn't even have real attorneys, and like it's so weird. It's just like weird digs that don't make any sense.
Oh man, I'm supposed to be in court on Thursday, but Now, Tuesday and Thursday were canceled because the sister, who miraculously found out about this whole thing, is now out of, well, she dropped that. So
Wait. You're going to have to back up on all this and kind of explain it, because I know I'm not the only one that A, wants to know, and B, is confused.
okay, so so the emergency injunction.
We're talking about the Conjuring House.
Yes, the Conjuring House. The sister dropped that. Now we're moving forward. I guess now, according to everything, she's seeking she's seeking
Guardianship.
Thank you. Somebody else is seeking receivership.
So guardianship of her sister?
Yep.
Which means that she would have the authority to make decisions for her.
Yeah, that's what she's trying.
Wow.
Yeah, and that.
And just to like make it clear on that point too, she's not with her sister. She is not taking care of her sister. She and her sister haven't been in the same room. They aren't like talking. They aren't like, how are you taking care of your sister right now? Like, she's going to have to prove to the courts that her sister needs to be taken care of, but that requires like a psych, like evaluation. And considering that Jacqueline is feeding herself, clothing herself, and has a roof over her head without her sister being involved in her life, I think that's going to be kind of hard to prove. But then number two, she has to prove that she's been taking care of her sister, and she's not. She hasn't been anywhere near Jacqueline. Like, they're nowhere near each other. So it's just, this is not going to go over well. The judge is going to be like, what are you going to do? Take care of her from afar? Like, yeah. And where was sister 6 months or a year ago? Yeah. Like, the sister's saying that she was there for like 1 or 2 times or something, that she helped check Jacqueline into a psych ward since the arrest thing that happened, right, at Rhode Island with Jacqueline. She's saying that she did that. Maybe she did. But again, like, you got to prove it. Number one, I don't think that she did, in my opinion. But, whatever, prove it. Number two, like, again, if Jacqueline needs that much help, why are you not living with her? Like, why are you not living with her? Why are you not taking care? Why are you not even in the same state? Oh yeah, she's doing it to gain control because she wants to sell the property for this $4 million that Josh is offering. Because that's what'll happen. If she gets control of her sister, then she's going to get $4 million from Josh, who's going to buy the property. And Josh has been like colluding with Elton. So like they announced that they were going to be working on this together. They announced it on Instagram. So stupid.
That's just, I don't even want to get into that, because that is somebody who came out of the woodwork miraculously. And
yeah, well, that's the thing. I know I hadn't heard, you hadn't heard anything about this woman. You knew that she existed, but beyond that,
hasn't been involved in years. I mean,
right. When things were really bad, she was nowhere to be found.
Oh, that's right. 100%. And we have proof and solid evidence of all that.
And all of a sudden,
she miraculously found out that there was a purchase sales, and no way she could have found out. But I can actually tell you how she found out. But that'll have to be through this whole list here, because there's a whole lot of information. Let me tell you, one thing I found out recently, which is neat, is even if somebody is protecting themselves using like LLCs or businesses, if they message you or send messages to other individuals from their personal phone and email accounts, that can violate the whole LLC idea.
That pierces the protection of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I didn't.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a whole lot. There's a whole lot I've learned recently.
So, like, I was going to present more on this house, but like, dude, this is just like a fucking, you get it. I showed you that the lawyer is clearly paid for by Elton. Look at the stuff that, Jason is saying. This stuff will be dropped soon. Everyone's going to know the truth soon. It's just a matter of time. Like, it ain't looking good for Elton. And this is where, like, I do wonder if this whole nonsense with Angelina was supposed to be some kind of smokescreen to distract us, so that we weren't covering this, so that we weren't talking about Elton and how shady he's being in this whole Conjuring house nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, there's something going on more with this. We just don't know what it is yet. And like, I don't understand why Castro is involved. It's very strange.
And for those who said, for my ChatGPT attorneys, it wasn't ChatGPT attorneys, as they found out. So anyways,
they were saying you had ChatGPT.
Yeah, I won't even get into it. Yeah, the funny thing is that they've only met one of them. Wait until they see the other 3. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a whole list. I mean, there's a list. It's I'll go through a timeline with you in a few.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea of it.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. I see
in every way.
Gosh, it's been insane. It really has been insane. It's been so much manipulation. And Maureen, you make a very good point there. Just don't understand a sister who doesn't talk to her sister for years and comes out of the woodwork to cause trouble. and you got to wonder the motivation behind it, I think, when it comes down to it. So
well, I don't wonder at all, Jay. I know exactly what the motivation behind it is. And there's no, I mean, anybody with a brain can figure out where this is all coming from.
Well, and there's,
yeah, and this is the whole thing, because like Castro is pushing this different narrative, Angelina was pushing this different narrative, and he was on top of it too, and trying to distract us, make us think that all this stuff coming out of Jason is crazy talk, that Elton is like colluding. No, this can't be it. They were gearing up. They were starting to spread all this misinformation and stuff and trying to talk bad about Jason. I can't show you everything because like they took their channels down, right? And like they were gearing up for some kind of misinformation campaign. It was really clear that something was going on. There was collusion going on with this little group of orbiters, and they're trying to silence everyone who, everyone who has been reporting on it. So yeah,
proof. I'm not going to show that, but there is proof of how she found out. So, which I mean, and there's a whole. I mean, the law's the law. So we'll see how it goes. Because I mean, even when all's said and done with the house, I mean that no matter which way it goes, it just opens the door to other things. And the sucky part was I was hoping that this week she was going to be on the stand like she was supposed to, because it would have answered a lot of questions that we didn't. But now, I mean, we got evidence of it anyway, so it's all good. But I wanted to get it said right out.
I like the way you're tiptoeing through the landmines so you don't say something you shouldn't or whatever. Or you're also trying not to. I mean, I get it. You don't want to make this about people or whatever.
You know what the infuriating part on this whole thing is now the property is trying to be, now you're seeing an LLC trying to sue Jacqueline to try to force the property into receivership, even though we have a purchase and sales agreement, which it makes no sense. I mean, the debt holder should just take a check and it's paid off. So we were supposed to get the information from them, the payoff on December 5th. And miraculously, that payoff never showed. But you know what did? That same night, evidence of a lawsuit that was magically just came out of nowhere from certain individual. So you can't, I mean, you put one and one together. It's obvious.
So normally, like Elton is acting as a bank right now. Banks have rules. I used to work at a bank too, and we had a bank that we purchased from the United States too. Banks have very strict rules about this stuff. There are federal laws that he needs to be following. And just like we're seeing, there's a lot of oopsies happening with this little group who are accidentally breaking federal laws, with them, not malicious intent, but it's an accident. There's stuff going on here. Like a bank should not be colluding with other people. A bank should not be hiring lawyers for the family members, right? Allegedly or whatever. I'm basing it on, look at what I showed you, right? My research on the lawyers there. So a bank is not supposed to be doing this, because if banks did this, then they would mess with people, with people's properties all the time. People would buy a property, they'd be paying their mortgage or doing their thing, and the bank just comes in and does whatever the hell they want. That is why there's laws. Elton is acting as a bank right now, and he is doing some stuff banks are not supposed to be doing. And this is why Jay said, like, even if we don't get the house, like, all this other stuff is a problem that he's doing. Like Jason, I'm not speaking on behalf of Jason, but I'm reading between the lines. I'm reading between the lines here that Elton has been doing some stuff that's shady that a bank is not supposed to do, because banks have laws. He is a lender right now. He's a bank right now. Banks have very stringent laws to protect people. And Elton is doing this stuff. This is going to blow back on him. This is not going to go well. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
And we also have stuff about trying to find, hey, does this person have any family members? And the list goes on and on. So, I mean, let alone, you want to break down timelines, Jim, not to get in too much detail, but so I can tell you how certain individuals found out we had a purchase and sales, and then 13 hours later, where other individuals showed up at a house knocking on a door.
Yeah, there's no coincidence there.
And that person probably shouldn't have. Yeah, we'll let it go. Anyways, so.
Well, the thing that we do know is when this is all.
And the person knocking on the door, that is in the public filings. It is Josh from Josh, whatever the hell, I keep forgetting his stupid thing. Exploring with Josh, or whatever it is. That is in the public filings. You can read that. That Josh went to Jacqueline's home where she's currently living 3 separate times to try to get her to take the $4 million and cancel the purchase and sale with Jason, which again, even if she did that too, Jason could also push, because there's federal laws about this, right? Because we have proof that Josh and Elton and them were working together. Elton is a bank right now. There's collusion going on there. A bank cannot offer more money for a property. A bank can only get the money that's owed to them. They can't be asking for more money or offering more money, because a lot of shady stuff could go down with that, right? And that causes things like the real estate collapse from like 2006 or 2009 or whatever. Like that, a lot of these rules went in more stringent because of that collapse and that huge economy. Like what was it again? I can't remember the word. Whatever. We had like a big friggin' everything blew up. It was bad. Exploring with Josh. Yeah. I can't remember the word right now. But anyway, there's a lot of laws here. When you are a bank, you have to adhere to a lot more stuff, you know?
All said and done, all the information is going to be available. All this stuff, right? I mean, the court stuff is public anyway, ultimately, right?
Yeah.
When it's all
and
done.
once we file this other stuff too, that stuff will be 100% available, and everybody will see everything for what it was worth and how it.
Yeah. So when they file that stuff and it becomes public and available, is Michael Castro still going to cover it? Because it's going to make Elton look real bad. Is he going to cover it? Is he going to still call his series The Conjuring and put Jason's name on the poster? Like, and you know, I'm not trying to like just be like I'm not standing for Jason here. I'm not like, oh, I love Jason, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm saying like there is some moral fuckery going on here. Like there's some weird shit going on and we got to call it out, you know?
All came to where it is now.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so that's the fun part I'm looking forward to. It's funny because, man, you know, you sit there and like I've gotten attacked online. I've just let it go because, you know, I see it. It's being used and then it's fine. It's being manipulated and pushed. And I just let it go because you know where the final outcome is gonna come. And I don't know. The whole thing's.
It is nuts. It is nuts. But I also know that when you take on a cause, you see it to the end and you fight the whole way. So
you know what? And I think that's the thing that, you know what, I'm going to say it just straight up. It pisses me off the most is that somebody can see an entire community coming together in support of somebody's wishes, who the whole premise of that property and its history and the story is based off of. And that person asked me to step forward. I asked the community to step forward. Everybody did. And still, there is somebody who is trying to undermine every goddamn thing and try to do it secretly that this entire community has come together for. I think that is the most irritating, annoying, you know, and it comes to a point where then it just comes to a point where it's not even just about that anymore, the property. Now it's about no matter what.
It's about principle.
Yeah, no matter what, we're going to see this thing through to the very end, not just the property, the very end in all legal ramifications. So yeah, but we'll see. Anyways, let me calm down on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with Jason. Like it's weird and it's messed up that there's somebody just like they're just doing it for the money, you know. They don't care about what the community, well, they do care about their image because their image is like taking a hit lately. But for example, like, I mean, I don't know what all I can share, but I don't know if it's around online. I'd have to take a look. You know how Sam and Colby supported Jason Hawes? Like they were like, we back Jason Hawes getting the Conjuring house. There's a reason behind also why Sam and Colby did it that way. And it's not just because of Andrea or Jason. There's other shit. Elton he's burnt a lot of bridges and he's doing a lot of shady shit. Look at who he surrounds himself with. Matt is and he's like best friends with Zach Bagans. Like just, these are not good people, you know? And I mean, look, they're best friends like Nesper and Tony Spera and stuff. And they are shady at AF, those guys, you know?
Fair enough.
I know, man, just biting the inside of my cheeks because, you know, there's just so much stuff. It's like, I started scanning stuff and putting it online. People's lives would really change. Oh man.
So funny.
Renee, thank you. I commend you for your truth and fighting spirit. Thank you. You know what? All I can do is what I can do. Bottom line, I was asked to do something. I stepped up. The entire community stepped up. And through this whole time, there's been certain individuals that have been trying to undermine everything that this community has done. And it's heartbreaking. It is, because you know what? You know, and I've been biting the inside of my cheeks, even with the things I've gotten, with the text messages that have been sent, that have been, you know, given as evidence and stuff like that. I mean, the list goes on. It's just, the whole thing is just disgusting to me. It is. I mean, just to see the things that certain individuals will do because they've never been told no, or because somebody stood up to them. I mean, it's like, come on, give me a break. Guys, we will. What we'll do is we'll set up a live in the next couple weeks, and whether it's during the day, and then we'll do one at night, so that way we can get the overseas audience as well. And we'll go, because I literally have a notebook of stuff that has been clear for me to talk about, which I'd love to discuss, just so everybody's on the same page, and then everybody can draw their own conclusions. Now, everything I share is going to be factual. I don't want to say anything that's not factual, anything that could be backed up. Yeah, I might even play it smart, just have one of my attorneys here while I do it. Go. So yeah, that might be the smartest bet. But a bunch of stuff's been cleared, and I'm looking forward to talking about it, and also just filling you all in on things that have happened behind the scenes and things that continue to happen behind the scenes, maneuvers, and because it's, you can't say that you care about this community, that you support this community, that your whole goal is to push this community ahead out of one side of your mouth, and on the whole other side, you're doing everything to manipulate and screw over a community. So I think that stuff needs to come out, bottom line. And there'll be a lot of evidence that I'll be talking about, as well as many. Well,
there's been so much crap online. You really have to do this, Jay, just to set the record straight. I mean, so many people believe what they read in these posts, and so much of it is
a lot of it is, a lot of people believe, or not even believe, but they're seeing one side of it.
Right.
And because we haven't come out and said anything, they sit there and question, and that's fine. That's totally understandable. But just understand that, there's so much that you got to be careful saying, because, you can't put everything out there. Because then people will know exactly what's coming for them, or, how to defend themselves. I mean, we just saw that happen when, not even to break it all down, but we just saw that happen when certain cases were dismissed this week because they're trying to push something else, but also because they didn't want that person on the stand being asked questions. So it would have led to other things, but we were prepared. So we already had things where we don't need to ask those questions. So, I mean, and also you don't want to get into a situation online where you're just going to argue with people who are just thriving more for attention than actual logic and things like that. So, I mean, it's a waste. All right, everybody, stay safe. Much love from us to you. Happy 2026. And thanks for being a part of this community, this ever growing community. You guys have been phenomenal. So keep it real, stay safe, and on to the next.
Okay. So, a couple weeks, keep an eye out on Jason's channel, because he's going to be able to talk about everything and release everything. So, like this stuff, there was a bunch of stuff already that I had that I was going to present you guys. And like, honestly, because between being sick, having the flu, all the other crap, like I just honestly didn't get to it in time. But you can also see, because I know I'm tired and I'm not going to explain legal crap right now. If you look at Ms. Paranormal's page, honestly, she's been really on top of stuff. If you go back and take a look at all the stuff, all of her shorts and stuff that she's been posting, she's been showing the cases, she's been showing all the different stuff with it, and she has caught on to almost everything. Like she knows what's going on. She's figuring it out. She's been putting it together, right? Yeah. See, business insolvency, like she's been tracking this whole thing. This is all the stuff that I wanted to actually release all this, but I was like, man, she's doing a good job. Like, honestly, I have been trying to share her stuff as I see it. Like, go way back. There's stuff that she's like thinking about. She's like, I'm wondering if it's this. And then it turns out that yes, a bunch of stuff she thought she was right about, so definitely go check her out. You can go way back, and yeah. You can go way back and see everything that plays out, I guess. She's pretty good. Additionally, I want to add this in. I made this post recently, and it's based on some information that I've collected and things that I've looked up. I'm not a lawyer, so it's sort of my opinion, but kind of based on things I've looked up about law and whatnot. So let me just read this off to you as well. Let's clarify a few things about the Conjuring House battle, as I see some misunderstandings going on or disinformation. First, the auction was called off on or around October 8th. I may be off by a couple days there. The original purchase sales agreement and deed were signed around October 10th or 12th. That sales agreement was signed by Jacqueline, not her power of attorney, and it was signed in the witness of Jason Hawes' attorney. That's what I remember seeing in the court papers. December 5th was the closing date, and that is when the bank is required to take the payoff for the existing mortgage. However, Summit and Stone, who is Elton, who is the bank who holds the mortgage, they weren't responding to requests for payment. They were making it difficult first to find them, to figure out who owns this debt. That took a little while, and they're trying to do that before before the December 5th timeline as well. Then they were ignoring certified letters to initiate payment. And FYI, that is illegal. Banks cannot do this. Banks must accept payment. Banks are not allowed to withhold a property or just take a property. If that was allowed, then we would be in absolute chaos for homeowners everywhere. Meanwhile, a legal action was started by Jacqueline's sister, who suddenly popped up out of the woodwork. Years ago, like I'm pretty sure it's decades is what I've heard, Jacqueline parted ways with her family. Her sister and her mom and stuff had a huge falling out. In fact, so far it seems there is no proof her sister has actually been taking care of her this whole time. Her sister says that she has proof that she checked her into a mental ward a couple of times, but the motion that would have to make the sister take the stand, the sister ended up withdrawing that motion so she didn't have to take the stand. And even if she checked her in a couple of times, it doesn't mean that she's really taking care of her. On top of this, they don't live anywhere near each other. So if she wants to be her caregiver, then why isn't she living with her? Why isn't she at least living in the same city? Why is it that Jacqueline seems to be taking care of herself most of the time? And this is where I want to discuss about competency. Mental health can vary. Speaking personally, I believe that Jacqueline may have had fluctuating periods of lucidity. This is not uncommon for conditions like schizophrenia. This stuff like runs in my family, by the way. I'm pretty familiar with it. As a person can be stable in October and then decline later. I have a family, I do explain here, I have a family with schizophrenia. We would see these swings. Usually a couple times a year, we'd have to step in and get them back on their meds. But we never had to take conservatorship of them. Some conditions, it is a known issue where they think they're better and they stop taking their meds. And that's not even touching on the discussion around Jacqueline's history of alcohol use and how alcohol interferes with psych meds as well. Point is, this is why someone can be lucid in October and then be back to paranoia and psychosis in December. As well, December is a common month for this kind of stuff because it's Christmas and family, and if she's already having a hard time enough as it is with her family, that may have caused her to spiral. Maybe she started drinking, it interfered with her meds. Maybe she went off her meds. Who knows, right? A lot of stuff does happen around Christmas. Finally, the power of attorney legally extended the agreement only because the bank wasn't fulfilling its obligations. Regardless of any extension, the original agreement still stands. Banks can't legally hide from mortgage payoff attempts. Because of this, in my opinion, I don't see why the judge would entertain any motions about the extension. The extension only happened because the bank was hiding and then not responding to requests for payment. So all in all, I hope this clarifies the situation. Oh, and P.S. Jacqueline hates Elton more than Jason. She was just lucid when the stuff happened with Jason, and that's why it's everywhere online. And Jason became target. She was lucid when the thing happened with Elton, but when that thing happened with Jason, she wasn't. She was having like a mental break, and Jason became the focus of her psychosis, which happens a lot with people that are dealing with disorders that have psychosis. And on top of that, I just added a note too. Why do I care? Pretty much, I've said already, I like the idea of the scientific testing that Jason's proposed to have Kenny Biddle and the CFI come in. But on top of that, I would honestly just like for once to see good prevail over evil, especially with everything that we've been dealing with this last month. In the video here, guys, thanks for watching. That cat.